Hello and welcome to another class in practical spirituality. I hope you engaged in the exercise that we practiced last Friday. The concept we're working with, the tool that we are working with, is witnessing, being able to become a neutral witness to aspects of our lives so we can correct them, change them, put them back on track, and or clear out any mirage that might be deluding us, might be clouding our awareness. So today we welcome you to another practice in witnessing, and we'll be witnessing our dissatisfaction. We'll talk more about it as we step into the class. But I just wanted to welcome you first. Make sure you're comfortable where you sit. I wish you were here with me right now in flesh, but I do feel your presence and I hope you feel mine as well. Because this relationship is important in order for you to feel and acknowledge what is being transmitted. So as you sit, let's first make a relationship with ourselves. Close your eyes. Roll the shoulders back and down. Lift the heart. And with your closed eyes, visualize your heart space. Slow your breath down. And become aware of yourself. Become aware of the amount of movement that's taking place in your mind today. How rapid is it running? What is it chasing? What is it looking for? Become very still within yourself and begin to just observe that. But as you observe, begin to open your heart. Because it is through the heart that you can become a neutral witness. If you view everything from your mind is constantly judging it. It's constantly looking for right, wrong, good or bad. So we are in this moment exercising our practice of awareness. Slowing the breath down, allowing the belly to expand slowly on the inhale and allowing it to gently descend back in towards the spine on the exhale. Become aware of something that exists in the center of your being. Not the physical center, but deep within you there is something that is watching you observe yourself. See if you can become aware of that. In order for spirituality to become real for you, to become practical for you, you have to create a foundational relationship with this witness inside of you. This is the only being in the whole world that can observe your life with absolute neutrality and offer you advice that will never be wrong, that can never go wrong. So I think there is value in creating this conscious practice of slowing our breath down and becoming aware of our awareness. And as you become aware of your body, of your thoughts, of your emotions, of your energy, of the space around you and within you, begin to look for any dissatisfaction. Dissatisfaction can show up sometimes as very loud and clear, almost blaring. But sometimes it's very soft, it's very subtle. So we are getting you into this place where you can witness every form, every degree of dissatisfaction that somewhere in your life you might be experiencing. You might not even have had time to admit it to yourself. But this is the space that we learn to become real with ourselves. This is where we begin to peel away that mirage, not mistaking the unreal for real. So keep slowing your breath down, keep observing. If something comes to your awareness, you can go ahead and write it down. I hope you do have a paper and pen next to you. You will need that for these classes. See if you are feeling more and more acceptance for yourself as you are showing up in this moment. If you are feeling that sense of, even if it's a tiny bit, if you are feeling that sense of acceptance, that means the witness is present here with us in this moment. Few more seconds. Keep practicing the breath, slowing it down, opening your heart, and observing everything that's taking place. Physically, emotionally, mentally, energetically. Become aware of all those layers of yourself that are surrounding your essence, your soul, your Adhar Manush. Now keep the breath going and begin to rub the palms together. Continue to witness. Let's tune in the traditional way of invoking the self within us, this guide within us, this witness within us, with Ong Namo Gurudev Namo. Press the palms together, press the thumbs against the sternum, take a deep inhale. Inhale deeply, pause the breath, and continue to gaze at the middle of the forehead between the brows. And very gently exhale. Relax the breath, relax the palms. Keep your eyes closed for a few more seconds. and get back into that slowness, that gentleness of your breath, following the breath wherever it goes. And slowly take a deep inhale. Exhale out through the mouth. And gently open your eyes. Well, welcome. I would love to hear who's joining us today. Say hello to me, and it really makes me feel wonderful when I can have a conversation with you guys about it and have a real time back and forth between your questions or your comments and what I am teaching here. A lot of these topics that we are working on in practical spirituality, they are relevant to our everyday lives. They are relevant to every human being. So when we can have a conversation about that, we can tease up some of these hidden aspects that are literally hiding in plain sight. We all experience it, but none of us want to really talk about it. So we are trying our best to bring out the wisdom, ancient wisdom, which we call spirituality, and really make it relevant to your everyday experience. Without that, spirituality has no relevance at all. So hi Victoria, hi Brandon, hey Sally, Sumati, so wonderful to see you. Maddie, Yasmin, welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi Kate. I proposed a question before you guys joined in, and I asked you, have you witnessed any dissatisfaction in your life? Could be, let's not talk about the past, let's talk about the present. Are you witnessing any dissatisfaction in your life? Are you experiencing any dissatisfaction in your life? And where is it showing up? If you know the answer to that, you don't have to know the answer to that. That's what we are going to work our way through in today's class. But if you are aware of something, go ahead and share that with me here. Hi Geeta, hi Belinda, welcome Tony. So wonderful to see you. So dissatisfaction is something that we all experience at some point or another. We begin that journey as kids. I was watching two little kids play in the park today, and both of them found sticks. And after a while, one was eyeing the stick of the other person, and when she wasn't looking, he went and grabbed her stick. And of course, a long argument ensued that was followed by tears and wailing and lying on the floor and so forth. But as I was witnessing that, I was thinking, so it really begins early on. When we see somebody with something better than we have at a very elementary level, some dissatisfaction arises in us, which then motivates us to take an action. And that action can either result in something wonderful, something purposeful, something fulfilling, or it can lead us into the state of tears and tantrums and lying on the floor. So I want to check in with you guys and see what your thoughts are about that. Joelle, welcome. Scott, so wonderful to see you. So Geeta says, dissatisfaction, politics, and the state of humanity. Wonderful. Seems like we're all witnessing that in somewhere or another. Dissatisfaction in humanity. Do you know how significant that's been in bringing us to where we are today? Without this element of dissatisfaction, there is no motivation to change. There is no motivation to grow. There is no motivation to evolve. So I know we usually look at this word in a negative way, but I wanted to really tease up both aspects of what dissatisfaction is and what it can do. So as you can see on this wonderful handy-dandy diagram, We talked about the layers of the self. So here in the center is the self. You can call it the soul. You can call it Atma. So this is a formless entity. And around this gets created layers of ourselves, and that begins with our energetic layer, and then the mental layer, and the emotional layer, and the physical layer. And ultimately, all these layers then drop into the world. So it's almost like this essence that we have within us is evolving outwards to create the senses, and it is the senses that then engage into the world. So these arrows, these green arrows, is my way of saying that these are the senses. And the self, the soul, uses these senses, it creates these senses, and then uses these senses to engage in the world outside. And then it wants to bring something back through the senses as well. So these red lines, this red dotted line, is the journey backwards. What are the senses bringing back to me in my essence? What is getting deposited back from the feedback of the senses, from the feedback of the interactions in the world? Now, this is a really neat game. It's almost like it invests its own vitality in every layer, in every dimension of our being, so that we can then gather what is taking place and feed the purpose of the soul, feed the agenda of the soul, if I may use that word. So for some of you who are new to me and you haven't really heard me talk before, we've been talking for a while about how the soul, the only reason you and I exist, that we have a body, we have a mind, we have energy, we have emotions, the reason we are here is because the soul has a set of experiences that it wants to have. That is the intention behind your existence. So this is not just random, even though we are 7 or 8 billion of us on this planet, so it might seem kind of random at this point. But no existence is random. Every soul is needing to have certain experiences, a set of experiences. And we as human beings are pretty complex creatures. So our experiences are much more complex than I would say that of your dog. Yes, that's a soul too, having its own set of experiences. But what makes our existence a little more complex is the idea that we have free will. We have a choice. And we have a way of hijacking the energy, the resources that the soul is spreading throughout the layers of our being. And we can hijack some of the input from the world at any of these layers. So we can hijack the resources of the soul merely at the physical level, merely at the emotional level, and not give back to the soul what it invested in. So let me know if that makes sense to you. Beautiful. Sumati, dissatisfaction with the lockdown. Belinda, dissatisfaction with not knowing what the future holds for us post-COVID. Dissatisfaction in the surroundings. So wonderful, which means our mind, emotions, energy, and physicality are having the experiences of the world that you and I have no control over, and yet it is happening, it's taking place. Anytime something like that happens, whether we like it or not, beyond our control, something is taking place. You have to understand that that is part of the universal mind's agenda. A huge amount of dissatisfaction happens when we have no training for our mind to learn to accept what is. Because the beginning of everything is accepting what is. And from here, we get clues about what to do with what is. But stepping back for a moment, we have to first understand this concept of dissatisfaction. Why is this within us? Why is it planted within us? In humans more than anything else. Most of the creatures get dissatisfied only when one or more of their survival needs are not met. That's when they get antsy. Once all the survival needs are met, they're pretty cool, they're pretty calm. But for us, it goes more beyond survival. So what is that? As I was sensing into it, I felt that our dissatisfaction is almost like the smoke detector in your home. It is very sensitive to subtle changes or certain distortions of environment. And this dissatisfaction, is a tool that can be used by both our I-ness and our soul. And this is where it gets really confusing. But let's put these two words down first. I-ness and wholeness. This in the center, our essence, is our wholeness. It has all the answers, past, present, future, COVID or no COVID, politics or no politics. If you connect to your essence, to your wholeness, you can access answers. But first of all, most of us don't have the capacity to get here and access the answers. Secondly, even if you do, accepting those answers is a whole different ballgame. This wholeness, connecting into your wholeness, is where you can sense the subtleties of where this dissatisfaction is coming from. If in the process of allocating the resources of the self into different layers so that you can fulfill, the I-ness can fulfill the agendas of the soul and bring it back, the essence, the juice of those experiences. If at any time, any of these areas of your life are siphoning off energy, it's siphoning off resources in your I-ness, and all that juice is not getting back to the soul again, you will experience a sense of dissatisfaction. And this kind of dissatisfaction, it's like a underlying hum, like a buzzing that you don't know where it's coming from. It's very irritating. You can't locate where it's coming from, but you can feel it all the time. That kind of dissatisfaction is the most important thing to pay attention to. The second kind of dissatisfaction is the dissatisfaction that we create. It's self-inflicted on our own I-ness, which means just in our physical senses, just the physicality, let's not even go here, we can create patterns and habits and desires and preferences that have nothing to do with the soul's agenda. And we can get stuck right here feeling the dissatisfaction. For example, if you are used to shopping in the mall, that's part of your hobby, and with the COVID, everything closed, you will feel a dissatisfaction because that habit is not getting fed. Now, that dissatisfaction has nothing to do with your soul's purpose, with the soul's agenda, what the soul wants to do with the resources that it is allocating to you in your physicality. Sometimes I feel situations like COVID and politics. These things show up. So we are forced into a place of discomfort. And in that discomfort, we are forced to soul search. We are forced to introspect and check in with our dissatisfaction to arrive at an answer. And you will see that's an underlying thing that is a need for dissatisfaction, is an answer. I need an answer. I need some kind of certainty. And that certainty that we're looking for, that permanence that we're looking for, is a myth. The very first class we began on this series is mistaking temporary for permanent. And yet everything in this realm, in this earthly realm, everything is always in a state of transition. It's always in a state of change. It's a constant movement. Nothing ever is still. And our mind thinks, if I can arrive at something that is still, that is certain, that will never change again, that is the only place I can rest. That is where I feel satisfied. But I promise you, that is a myth. COVID is a situation that is beyond anybody's control. It is not going to change because we don't like it, because we are bored or dissatisfied with our environment, or we're stuck at home and so forth. It doesn't care about that. It will not change. The situation that the universe is creating is not going to change because you don't like it. You are being asked to morph. You are being asked to use your dissatisfaction to change something within you until that situation is not a threat anymore. Now, this takes work. This is not an easy solution that I'm offering you. That's where we enjoy the simplistic idea that if we complain enough about our dissatisfaction, the universe will listen. That is no different than the child screaming and yelling on the floor, saying, I want that stick, and I want it now. There's no difference. And that's where we are talking about practical spirituality. Spirituality is about maturity. Maturity at every level, emotional, mental, energetic. So you can bring yourself into a state of harmony irrespective of what's going on around you, irrespective of what the outer situation is. I can connect into my essence. And anytime we're able to do that, there is a moment of self-realization. I realize, this is what the self is doing. Right now, I'm immersed in a project. I am working on the Japji Sahib course. And yesterday, I was fully immersed in this Pori, one of the verses from the Japji Sahib, that was talking about, wow, this being, this creator, whoever, whatever that creator is, that formless intelligence, is so benevolent. Just feel that for a moment. It's so benevolent. It is constantly creating. It's constantly doing. Notice nothing has stopped getting created and recreated and getting dissolved and creating again. Like that pen of the scribe hasn't stopped writing. With every soul, with every download of agendas of the soul, everything we need to fulfill that agendas is also given to us. It is never an incomplete equation. And throughout our life, more keeps coming to us, and more keeps coming to us, and more keeps coming to us. But our mind, our physicality might not like it. Our emotions might not like it. Our energy might not like it. Our mindsets might not like it. Now, liking and disliking, your essence is not concerned with that. Your I-ness's liking or disliking, it has no concern for. Because the only thing that exists is it. It is the thing that's created your I-ness. You who think you are here, existing in this world. You who think that people are passing away during this time, and there's so much sadness around that. That physicality and emotionality are feeling that. But it is the one, it is the self that is coming and going. So part of that verse says, Akhe mange de de, like it is so benevolent, it's constantly doing and giving. And we, in our I-ness, we are constantly struggling. And we are saying, give me more, give me more. I need this, and I need this, I need this solution, I need this solution. And the funny thing is, no matter how much we get, there is still no satisfaction. We never get to a place where you say, we are completely content. We are satisfied. So there is an element of ungratefulness because we can't pause, step back, look at the bigger picture and say, what is causing my discontentment? Is it something in one of these realms, energetic, mental, emotional, or physical? Is it something I have created, the tremendous amount of desires that I have created every time I turn on social media and I look at what the rest of the world is doing and what they have, or how many followers they have, and so forth? Does that create dissatisfaction in you? Now that is a self-induced dissatisfaction. That has nothing to do with your soul. And for most of us, if you really tap into your dissatisfactions, you will find that most of them are not relevant to your life. This is where the mirage begins to get formed. We start to mistake the unreal for real. We begin to mistake the painful for pleasureful. We think if I get the other person's stick, then I will have pleasure in my life. I will feel pleasure. And you do feel pleasure once you get it because that pleasure is felt in your I-ness. But that pleasure does not feed back into your wholeness because your wholeness wasn't asking for the stick in the first place. The demand for that stick, the desire for that stick was the demand of your I-ness. So I'm going to pause here. I'm going to let you share some of your thoughts as I read some of your comments here. Good, makes sense, wonderful. A lot of neurosis right now, yes. Especially people living in a small house. At times I find myself wishing I was somewhere else. It's a difficult situation at every level, mentally, emotionally, physically, energetically. Your energy is affected by people who are not in connection with their essence. But if you pause and understand why you were placed in that situation, why are you having this experience? What is your being wanting you to mature into? What are you being asked to bring back out of this experience? What is the juice? That's what you have to get at. And the moment you get to that, the moment you tap into that answer, there will be no more discontentment. You will be in acceptance of everyone around you as they are, and you will become a witness to them. Try it. And I'm not saying that you will not have waves of emotions and waves of energetic imbalance. I'm saying you will be able to bring it back into harmony by practicing connecting into your essence. And that is a practice for which you need tools, which is what we are offering at Kundalini Yoga, with meditation. And you have to do this every day. The situation with COVID is showing up, and this is not a mistake. This is not a mistake. We are being propelled as humanity to think differently, to evolve, to become more subtle, to access something within us that is more subtle, that is not as changing, constantly changing all the time. This realm that we're moving in with technology, yes, this new era with technology, everything is going to change at such a fast pace, which is changing at such a fast pace, that if you are not connected into your center, it'll leave you tattered. It'll leave you exhausted. You won't be able to keep up with every change constantly, which means at some place in your life, you have to have an anchor where you can go, where that altar where you can hang out and be at peace no matter what's happening in your environment. That is what spirituality is. That is what we are trying for all of you to prepare for, to work towards. And please know, it does take work. Our generations have not experienced anything like what we are experiencing right now, with this amount of change, with this amount of information. I don't think it's the COVID that's exhausting, it's the amount of information we are getting that is exhausting. Does your mind know how to find an anchor in that? Because the more information you're receiving, the more questions that are arising. The more questions that are arising, the more dissatisfaction you're feeling because you cannot get to an answer, one certain answer. Beautiful. Hi, Simi. Says, self-induced dissatisfaction is such a cycle. Gosh, yes. If we can just cut through that, if we can become aware and witness that, like just witnessing, what am I doing with these constant demands of myself? How dissatisfied are we with ourselves? My God. How many layers of expectations are we placing on ourselves which are not even ours to fulfill? Can you create time in your day to witness that? And then cut through that cycle. It is difficult. Again, please realize I'm not saying this is easy. What I'm covering in one class, but we could go a decade just mastering this. So we will keep coming back to it in some way or form. But let's begin by what is obvious. Pick one thing today that is obvious, that is self-induced dissatisfaction. What habits have you created so far in your life? Because the moment they don't get fulfilled, you're feeling dissatisfied again, discontentment. Why have we created that cycle? Can you get to the cause of that? What am I covering up by creating this extra habit? Which then I tell my mind and my energy and my resources that I have to fulfill this, or else I'm not going to feel satisfied. Thank you. Keep sending me your comments. This is very useful. Yeah, I feel I can be very stubborn wanting what I want when I want it. I can see a lot of hands raising right now. And that stubbornness causes so much discontentment. Beautiful. So take a moment. Take your pen and paper and write down what comes to your mind with the very top thing on your list that is creating dissatisfaction for you. And I would suggest that you stay away from the political or economic situation generally for the whole world. Hone in on yourself. Put the spotlight on yourself. What's happening inside of you? What is real for you? The rest of it is distraction, something we are trying to pin our dissatisfaction, our internal dissatisfaction on. But let's bring to light what is really the cause of some of the discontentment in your life. And from there, once you have written that down, then we can narrow down how much of that dissatisfaction is self-induced and how much is it because you are not giving back to the soul what it is asking for. So just take a few moments and just journal, just write whatever comes to your mind. Ah, that inner dialogue, I am not doing enough. So self-induced. And I have learned in my own life to watch that, call that out. Because that narrative of dissatisfaction runs you like a slave. And there is no moment of peace. It runs you day and night from the moment you wake up till the moment you go to bed. Husband working from home and his energy affecting me. To stop feeling that I indulge in social media, which creates double the anxiety. Thank you for acknowledging that. So come on, let's get to be more and more real with ourselves. Call yourself out. Unplanned stay away from where I normally live. Satnam, what causes energetic dissatisfaction? I think Sumati was sharing here, just being around someone, and if they are in a state of discontentment inside of them, we will start to feel that. We are energetic beings and we are very empathetic creatures. We pick up on each other's energies, whether we want to or not. So a lot of our energetic dissatisfaction is because of the collective around us. But we can create an upset in our own energy. This collection that we have is composed of individual beings, right? If each individual being is in a state of harmony, they have access to their self. They have access to the answers within themselves. They are in a state of guidance, in a state of tenderness, in a state of self-assurance. Then the energy that will emanate from them is healing energy. So anytime you are around somebody like that, you will feel that healing energy. People want to be around that person just because they feel so comfortable in their own skin. So my energy can start affecting your energy, and your energy can affect mine. But the question is, if you have no idea how to anchor into yourself, into your own energy, first of all, make it so clear, more so strong, and then anchor into it. And once you're anchored into it, you have some fighting chance of not getting affected by the energy of those around you. But if you don't know how to do that, then you're like a ball being tossed around. Your energy is like a ball that's being tossed around. It's picking up, it's absorbing everything around you. And very soon you are a big jumbled mess of energies and you don't know which one is yours. So a lot of the collective anxiety that is being felt right now, that's what's really happening. A greater amount of population has no idea where that anchor is within themselves. That is not what we have invested our time and energy in the past millenniums, in the past decades, the past years, in the past months. But anyone who has, and anyone who is consciously practicing that right now, you will find that they are not as affected by the collective anxiety. No one really knows what paradigm we're going to come through after the COVID is done. But the beauty of it is quietly whispering to us and saying, do you know where your center is? It is asking us to find that center. Or else, it is creating this collective anxiety. Our experience is our experience, and we can choose our experience. That is one place most people have no awareness. We can choose our experience. I have access to all these layers just like you do. I can change the experience of my energy, of my mind, of my emotions, and my physicality. And if there's something happening at any of these layers that is causing such pain, so many question marks, so much uncertainty, then I go and hang out in a place within me where there is absolute certainty. Then I go hang out right here. This is the place that is unchanging. This is the place that has all the answers. I can get away from all these and I can hang out here just for a little while. And when I emerge from here, that will change my energy. That will change my mindset. That will change my emotions. And that will change how I physically act in this world. Beautiful. Thank you. Keep the comments coming. Yep. Find a quiet corner and regroup constantly. That is going to be your challenge. You will have to make changes in how you live, how you exist. You cannot, and please, please promise me, for those of you who are here and watching this and having this heart-to-heart conversation with me, please promise me you will not take your life back to what it used to be before COVID. Do not ask for that. Do not have that desire. Do not have that preference, because if you have that preference, you are purposefully creating dissatisfaction in your life, self-induced. This is where you make a decision, make a commitment. My commitment is to have access to that self within me at all times. And whatever it takes to get to that place, I'm willing to do. How much ever I can do each day, I will do, but I'm committed to it. So let me hear your commitment here. Raise your hand and commit with me today. The life after this is not going to be the same. Therefore, the requirements will not be the same. This is our wake-up call, people. We are being asked to think differently. That is the message. Please hear it. Please receive it. Begin your work today. If you haven't worked on this before, it doesn't matter. It's okay. Begin today. Begin now. Together we can do this. We have the tools. And you do need tools to make these major shifts in your life. And that's what we're here to teach you. The online classes are there. Please access them. Use those tools. We worked so hard in trying to get these out to everybody as much as possible. We are still doing that every day. Reach out. Find someone, make a buddy system and say, let's start making this change together. Thank you. This pandemic has been a teachable moment, absolutely. I think there's another question. somewhere. Does my soul experience any emotion that is frustration when I don't listen to it? The soul doesn't experience emotions. It is very neutral. But the soul can gauge. It has an underlying blueprint of the experiences that it is here to have. All it is doing is sending out the resources into our layers, into our I-ness, and then waiting patiently to receive back the juice. It's almost like a honeybee leaves the hive and to go find the right kind of honey. Could be a wildflower honey, could be a eucalyptus honey, and bring it back to the hive. And then get into a state where you can churn that raw material into the nectar that it is craving. So the soul doesn't experience frustration. It is extremely patient. All it senses, that underlying hum of dissatisfaction, it is a knocking that's trying to remind you. That is saying you need to make a correction. Wake up. Look at what's missing. Literally, that's what dissatisfaction is. It's like a placeholder between two parts. What is happening, which has nothing to do with the honey that the soul is looking for, and hoping or having a motivation. The dissatisfaction creates the motivation. It kind of lights a little fire underneath us to start to take the actions, to maybe change directions, looking for something. We have an internal sonar. We know what we're looking for, but it's not visual to us. It's not explicitly heard by our ears, but we know. So to answer that question, no, it does not experience frustration. It just begins the knocking a little more stronger. The dissatisfaction can become stronger and stronger, turn into discontentment, a constant chronic discontentment. And that will, if not heard, if not acknowledged, that can turn into depression. So depression is the ultimate, so something is saying, okay, I've reached a dead end. I can't go further any longer. Something's blocking me. There's nowhere to go anymore, which means you will have to retrace your steps back or change directions and find a way out. Find what the soul is gently resonating within you and asking you to do. I hope that helps. Let's see, any other questions? Doesn't have the same timeline, but I sense my sense of urgency is from my soul. Yes. It could come from either the ego, the I-ness, or it could come from the soul, your wholeness. And the caliber to sense the difference between where the urgency is coming from requires witnessing, which is what we are practicing today. So I have a lot more to share with you, but I'm very grateful that you guys are responding. I would also like for you guys to tell me if you're committed to making these changes. You're not hearing this for passing some more time during your isolation. Are you truly, is something, as you hear my words, is something lights up in you and say, yes, I want to make these changes? If it does, let me hear it here. And we will get into a few exercises, some physical exercises. This is where we begin to use the tools, to use these exercises as ways to bring up to the surface what's hiding underneath our dissatisfaction. Then we can tell if it's coming from our I-ness or it's coming from our wholeness. So let me hear those yeses. Absolutely. And then we can, as we are doing that, keep writing down, keep journaling. Even if you have to stop and exercise and something shows up for you and you have to journal something, please do, and then get back into the exercise again. And or share with me here. Yes, I'm committed. Thank you. Yay, Maddie. Thank you. Thank you, Scott. So as you are sharing here with me, we're multitasking and journaling. Let's begin to warm up our spine. Make some room around you. Circling from the base of the spine, inhaling forward, exhaling back. Close your eyes. And find your breath again. The moment you close your eyes and focus your gaze at the middle of the forehead between the brows, you begin to activate that witnessing, that witness that exists within you, the soul as a witness. It's neutral. Like I said, it does not judge, it does not condemn, it does not criticize, it does not get frustrated with you, but it speaks to you. Whatever it sees, it tells you clearly. You have to step away from all other noise of the world so you can become available to this clear advice, this clear guidance. So keep circling from the base of the spine and make your ears available to the sound of your breath. Inhaling forward, exhaling back. And now reverse direction. Keep hearing the sound of the breath. The more you can train your ears to hear the sound of the breath, the more they will stop hearing the sound of your complaining. They will stop hearing the sound of your constant preferences from the I-ness. Now inhale, center. Spine tall. Exhale. Relax the breath. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to lie down on our backs. We're going to raise our legs up about 2 to 3 feet off the floor, and you're going to create a shaking in your legs. So I'm going to try my best to see if I can demonstrate here. So your legs will be extended. Your head is on the floor. You will raise the legs up about 2 to 3 feet off the floor. You can place your hands underneath the hips if you need to support the lower back, and begin a shaking, almost like a trembling in your legs. Close your eyes and begin to breathe long, slow, and deep with that trembling. I'm going to play a mantra here. Allow yourself to attune your ears to the sound current and allow any other thought that's coming through to provide evidence if it's valid for you here. You will start to get a little frustrated with yourself in this exercise. You will question yourself. You will ask, am I doing this right? Am I not doing this right? Why do I have to do it? Everything will show up. The preference of your body, your physicality will show up, which only wants comfort and ease. And if you stay put with your breath, long, slow, deep breathing, or you can chant along, you are training your body and you're training your mind, you're training your emotions towards a little more discipline so they don't go in that tizzy into that tantrum of the I-ness. So we are helping that aspect mature.
Hara 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 Akame, Hara 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 Govinde, Hara 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 Mukande, Hara 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 Udare, Hara 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 Apare, Hara 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 Hariyam, Hara 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 Kariyam.
See if you can feel a little bit of that frustration showing up. Keep accessing, keep witnessing that frustration. Keep diving deeper into it. But don't give in to it. You can rest your legs anytime you need to and then start again. That's not a problem. But don't give into the narrative of your frustration. You got this. You can do this. We're almost there. We're activating certain energies in your body that will override the narrative of your I-ness. It's like magic almost. Keep up, keep up. Last 40 seconds. Allow the trembling to happen in your legs from deep within you. Don't give up, don't let go. You said you're committed. Stay committed. Inhale, hold the legs where they are. Balance. Exhale, relax the legs down, draw the knees in towards the chest. Hold yourself here. Breathe. Be tender towards yourself here. As if you're just giving yourself a hug and a squeeze. Inhale. Exhale. And begin to rock back and forth on your spine, holding onto your knees. And when you are ready, come sitting up. And come onto your heels. If sitting on your heels is difficult, you can place a pillow between the heels and the hips. Or you can sit in easy pose, or you can sit on a chair. That's fine too. But only if you need to. If you can do this, please make that effort. So sitting on your heels, you're going to cup your palms, both of them, and imagine you are holding the precious, precious desires of the soul in your palms. And you're entering into the world. And there's so much happening in this world, back and forth. And any little challenge can toss this precious little desire of the soul from your palms. And your journey through this lifetime is to keep holding on to those precious gems, those treasures, not let them go anywhere, no matter what distractions, no matter what challenges show up. So, right, we're creating a practice in steadiness here. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to move your right elbow back as you extend the left elbow completely, and then the opposite arm. You're going back and forth, holding on to that preciousness in your palms. Eyes are closed. Strong, powerful breath with this movement. Beautiful. Keep going. If I tune myself energetically to you, I can almost tell if you're breathing strongly enough or not. So please know I am tuning into you energetically. Open that breath. Open yourself to yourself. Come on. Wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Move that energy. Clear that energy. Whatever you have absorbed, clear it out while holding on to the precious, precious desires of the soul in your palms. Move the entire rib cage. Open, open, open.
Hare 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 Nilame, Hare 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 Akame, Hare
30
Hare
seconds.
Hare Govinda.
Have that neutral smile on your face. See if it shows up naturally, knowing that you are preserving, you are activating, you are honoring that which is real within you, that which you truly desire. Inhale, pull both the elbows back, open the heart, and apply a root lock, drawing the rectum, sex organs, navel in and up. Once again, we are clearing your energy. We're opening the spinal fluid. Hold, hold, hold right there. And gently exhale, relax both the palms down in your lap. Keep your eyes closed. And breathe. Let your belly move out on the inhale. And draw your navel in on the exhale. Your breath is the most simplistic way of renewing, of clearing all the other noise that is disrupting you, that is disrupting the journey of your soul. Beautiful. Now, if you can, get into celibate pose, which means you are going to spread the knees a little wider apart and sit in between the heels. If you're able to sit in celibate pose, great. Once again, you can also place a pillow underneath the hips if that helps, avoiding too much stress on your knees. Or if you have bad knees, you can sit on a chair or on the floor in easy pose to do this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to take both our arms up. That's our inhale. On the exhale, we're going to hit the floor in front of us. Inhale, exhale. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. And I want you to visualize clearing, really calling out some of your own self-induced emotional dramas, emotional dissatisfaction, energetic dissatisfaction, physical dissatisfaction. Like you are clearing it out. I don't want it anymore. That commitment is showing up as you hit your hands on the floor. That's it. Clearing it now. Strong breath. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. If you have a worry about what your housemates are going to think about what you're doing, that itself is a block that you must clear. So you give it your all. Allow anyone around you to think whatever they want to think. You be true to yourself. Come on, with more commitment, more joy. Last few seconds. Open the heart, open the heart. That's where the essence is. And it is so blocked. Use your breath. Clear anything that's blocking it. And Please take a deep inhale, raise the arms overhead, reach up tall as you can. Exhale, sweep the arms down. Open the palms on your thighs. Breathe, open the heart. Once again, allow that belly to move out on the inhale, in on the exhale. On the next inhale, bring the arms out to the sides and then raise them up over the head. Interlace the fingers. Index finger is pointed, both the index fingers are connected, and the thumbs are crossed. It doesn't matter how you cross the thumbs. So keeping the arms hugging the ears, begin to chant along with the mantra, begin to copy the sounds. If you don't know the chant, just chant the part that says Har, 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 Har. Har, 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 Har. Beautiful. Keep reaching up taller and taller with the fingertips, as if you are moving away from some of your basest habits, base emotions, base thoughts, and you pulling yourself up into your elevation. If you're not chanting, make sure you're breathing long, slow, and deep. Conscious breath. Be a witness to everything that's taking place within you. Override any other narrative that's taking place right now. Commit to your essence, find that center as you're chanting, as you're breathing. Almost there. Inhale deeply. Keep the stretch from the base of the spine all the way to the fingertips. Apply a gentle root lock. Draw the energy up. Exhale, gently sweep the arms down. Beautiful. Staying in celibate pose if possible. Come lying down on your back. Now this is a little difficult to do if you're not flexible, but you can always try. And if you get to a point where you feel you're forcing your body too much, stop right there. Don't go any further. But if your body can lie down in celibate pose, you can do that. If not, you can just cross your legs just like this and come onto your back. Fingers are the same way as in the prior exercise. Bring them at the navel, head is on the floor, chant along again. Har, 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 har. Pulling on the navel slightly with each har. Hands are at your navel. Beautiful. Let the chant draw you in towards your core, towards your essence. Surrender to it.
Akame, Hara 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 Govinde, Hara 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 Mukande, Hara 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 Udare, Hara 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 Apare, Hara 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 Hariyam, Hara 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 Kariyam, Hara 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 Nilame, Hara 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 Akame, Hara 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 Govinde, Hara 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 Mukande,
Keep your
Hara
eyes
Hara Hara
closed and
Hara
focused
Udare,
at the brow
Hara
point,
Hara
middle of the
Hara Hara
forehead, between the brows,
Apare,
single pointed
Hara
focus.
Hara 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 Hariyam, Hara 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 Kariyam, Hara 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 Nilame, Hara 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 Akame, Hara 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 Govinde, Hara Hara Hara
Meditate
Hara
at your essence, your
Mukande,
core, your
Hara
center.
Hara Hara Hara
Commit to it.
Udare, Hara 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 Hara
Acknowledge
Apare,
you have gone
Hara Hara
far
Hara
from
Hara
its desires.
Hariyam, Hara Hara
Acknowledge it,
Hara
own
Hara
it,
Kariyam, Hara
and
Hara
bow the
Hara
head to the
Hara
heart.
Nilame, Hara 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 Hara
Few more
Akame,
seconds, keep going.
Hara 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 Govinde, Hara 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 Mukande, Hara 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 Udare, Hara 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 Apare, Hara 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 Hariyam, Hara 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 Kariyam, Hara 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 Nilame, Hara 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 Akame, Hara 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 Govinde, Hara 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 Mukande, Hara 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 Udare, Hara 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 Apare, Hara 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 Hariyam, Hara 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 Kariyam, Hara 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 Nilame, Hara 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 Akame, Hara 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 Govinde, Hara 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 Mukande, Hara 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 Udare, Hara 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 Apare, Hara 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 Hariyam, Hara 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 Kariyam, Hara 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 Nilame, Hara 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 Hara
Inhale deeply.
Akame, Hara 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 Govinde,
Exhale out through the
Hara
mouth.
Hara 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 Mukande,
Inhale
Hara
deeply
Hara Hara
again.
Hara Udare,
Exhale
Hara
out through the
Hara Hara
mouth.
Hara
One more
Apare,
time, deep
Hara
inhale.
Hara Hara Hara
Exhale out through the
Hariyam,
mouth.
Hara Hara Hara
Allow the
Hara
arms to be by your
Kariyam,
sides.
Hara Hara
Extend the
Hara
legs
Hara
out
Nilame, Hara 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 Hara
very gently.
Akame, Hara
Just be with
Hara
yourself for
Hara
a few
Hara
seconds.
Govinde, Hara 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 Mukande, Hara
And
Hara
sense
Hara
into
Hara Udare,
the initial feeling of dissatisfaction that you were feeling about yourself, about your life, about those around you, your environment, and see if it has changed. The beauty of a lot of these falsenesses that we have created in our life is that they evaporate really quickly as well because they're not real. All we need to do is direct our energy, and just like that, the harmony of that clears some of these energetic distortions of body, mind, emotion, and physicality. And now slowly, please draw your knees in towards the chest, rock side to side, and begin to rock back and forth on the spine. And slowly, once again, come sitting on your heels. Again, if you can't sit on your heels, you can sit in easy pose, however you feel comfortable sitting. And once you get there, open your heart. You're going to place your hands in front of you with the palms flat on the floor. This is your inhale. On the exhale, you will bring the forehead to the floor. It's almost like you're bowing your head to your heart. And you can move with the mantra while chanting with it, or you can just use your inhale and exhale. Inhaling up, exhaling down. A conscious breath, conscious presence, conscious commitment to bow my head and everything that I have created in my I-ness to my heart. I'm bowing that. I'm committing to bow to my heart. I'm going to make that a practice. Inhaling up, exhaling down, or you can chant along. Last few seconds. Please inhale up. Pause the breath. Apply a root lock, rectum, sex organs, navel, drawing the pelvic floor up towards the heart. Hold. And very gently exhale. Relax the breath. You can stay here on your heels or you can extend the legs out. But keep your eyes closed. You can even place your palms in prayer pose. Get into a state of devotion to your essence, to yourself, the real self that exists within you. Inhale. Exhale. Last little exercise. You're going to pretend to be a swan. This is a beautiful exercise that opens up the spinal fluid, it opens up the spine, and it begins to override the reptilian patterns of your lower mind. So this is what we're going to do. Just like before, your palms are in front of you, like here, and you can bring your forehead to the floor and then gently allow your spine to arch up, almost like you do in a cobra pose. And then curl the spine back, tuck the chin under, and slide down, bringing the forehead towards the floor, and then rising up like a swan, and then curling the spine again. See, creating a beautiful movement in the spine, inhaling up, exhaling back. Keep going, inhaling as you rise up, exhale as you curl the spine, inhale as you begin again, exhale back. This exercise works on your spine and on your neck as well as your shoulders. Our energy is contained within our physicality. So one way of changing our energy, which is the subtlest form of our being, is through the physicality. And as we change our energy, our emotions can change and our thoughts can change. That's what yoga does so well. It has documented all of these exercises in your physicality that can change your mind, that can change your emotions. This is where your commitment lies, to do the work. So just the change in energy will clear, it'll do more than 80% of the work for you. That's how easy it can be. Make sure as you rise up, you really lift the chin. And then as you tuck, pull the chin in towards the collarbone. So you're moving the neck, really opening and closing the vertebrae in the neck as well. So the spinal fluid can move through all the way up through the neck and into the lower brain. Keep that breath strong. These Kundalini Yoga Kriyas are so intelligent, so magnificent. They can make you inconquerable by your own I-ness. Your I-ness can't touch you if you can just open yourself up to your essence. Keep that breath going. We're almost there. And finish the last round. And gently rise up. Take a deep inhale here. Exhale. And if possible, keep your eyes closed as you come lying down on your back. It's very important. Please do not skip this step. Very important to integrate this energy that you have activated. This is where a lot of the healing happens. So just lie down on your back. You don't have to do anything else. Keep your eyes closed. Spread the legs apart as far as they feel comfortable, and your arms are away from the body with the palms up. Rest, be with yourself, hang out with yourself. Nothing needs to be done anymore. And slowly take a deep inhale. Exhale. On the next inhale, please raise your arms overhead. Stretch yourself tall in opposite directions. And then exhale and draw the knees in towards the chest. Just hold yourself here for a few seconds. You can rock side to side. Massage the lower back. And now begin to rock back and forth on the spine, engaging your breath. Make sure to rock all the way from the base of the spine all the way up to the shoulders, distributing the energy equally throughout the spine. Your breath is active. And now gently come sitting up with your eyes closed and become a witness once again. See everything from the eyes of your essence, from the eyes of your soul. Gaze at all these little areas of dissatisfaction, even the ones that are self-induced. And see how much compassion you feel for yourself. That is a little lost. That is feeling the dissatisfaction. This is a really amazing state. You can experience so many different emotions from different layers of yourself. But at your essence, compassion is the pervading emotion. Because all healing, all correction can take place from that place of compassion. Look at all those areas of dissatisfaction, discontentment, and sense what you feel. What's coming to you right now? Has the intensity changed, or is it still the same? Has something arrived at your understanding in this moment? Has a wisdom guidance opened up in your heart and your mind feels surrendered to it in this moment instead of opposing it? And whatever is showing up, please take some time after the class ends to write that down, to acknowledge it, to own it. Now gently place your hands on your heart center, right hand over the left. And send yourself, all levels of yourself, all dimensions of yourself, this long time sunshine prayer.
May the long time sun shine upon you and all us around you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. May the long time sun shine upon you and all us around you, and the May the long time sun shine upon you and all love surround you and the pure light within you guide your way on, guide your way on, guide your way on.
Please inhale deeply. Exhale. Give yourself a hug. Nice big hug. See if you're feeling a little committed towards your commitment. Feel the gratitude that you have towards yourself for committing to this commitment. Maddie, thank you for sharing that you are taking a class every morning on the Global Studio and how much it's helping you. I would recommend you guys, if you don't have an everyday practice and you truly are committing to opening yourself to your essence and making that anchor, finding that place within yourself, please, please find a practice. That's what we created the online studio for. You can go on there and you can practice every day. So commit yourself to that. Find the time, open some room for yourself. Only you can do that. No one will ever give you that permission. Only you will have to give yourself that. And Brandon, I know you had a question that said, can we do a 4:30 a.m. live sadhana? There is a sadhana going on via Zoom. Sydney and a few other people in that group are doing a sadhana. If any of you are interested in doing the sadhana, please email me and I will send you the link for the Zoom sadhana. So that'll be fun too. For that is again a commitment and it is life-changing. Thank you for committing. I loved all the hearts and I loved all the yes, committed totally 100%. Yes, yes, yes. And see. And we will continue the journey of going through the process of clearing dissatisfaction or even understanding them next Friday. So journal a lot more, bring a lot more to your awareness, find out how many of your dissatisfactions, how much of your discontent is self-induced, how much is coming as a signal from your soul. See if you can decipher between the two, and we'll continue with part 2 of witnessing our discontent. Satnam, I love you all. God bless.